Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to NOLA Theater Talk. My name is Alan Smason, and welcome once again. We broadcast to the NOLA Theater Folk Facebook group, to the theatercriticism.com Facebook page, which is the social media page for folks, promotion of theatercriticism.com, not the website theatercriticism.com, which I created, but essentially is a place for reviews. And if you're going to find out about what's going on, you find out about it through our Facebook page. And then, of course, my own YouTube channel. Appreciate everybody out there who's listening in. We have a really good show lined up for you tonight. I want to let you know, first off, that if you'd like to make a comment, we always ask you to please go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. That will allow you to essentially identify yourself. And it is a third-party platform that works with Facebook, but Facebook has a lot of different kinds of requirements that suggest that you need to give them permission to put your name up. So they don't want to put your name up without your permission. So therefore, that's what we ask you to do. Go to that site, and hopefully you'll be able to find out more about seeing your name posted. If not, it comes up as a Facebook user. So that's good too, but not as good as knowing who you are. So again, we're getting started tonight. We have a couple of other guests who are still yet to come, but we're getting started as we are supposed to get started a little late tonight than we normally. Most of you are accustomed to an 8 o'clock start, but tonight we're starting at 8:30, and there's good reason. I couldn't really gotten here on time if I had gone to my previous event, and so I figured that this would be better. Later in the evening, it will go a little bit later. We're hoping to go for a long hour tonight if we can. We'll just see how long the conversation stays up. Tonight, we're going to talk about The Cake by Bekah Brunstetter. This is a show that is going to be running, coming up in just a little bit, not too long, and we're going to hear from the director and several of the other cast members. We're waiting for two of them to show up, but we're going to get started right now. Let me welcome first off Elizabeth Newcomer, or Liz Elkins Newcomer, as I knew her so many years ago. Again, do you prefer Liz or Elizabeth now that you're...
Liz is great.
Now that you're a grown, woman, and you may demand more respect than just Liz. I just have to say this is a very provocative story, and right on in terms of what it has to say about today's society. It was only 2015 that the Supreme Court came out and said that same-sex marriage is now legal in the land. Mm-hmm. So these are kind of interesting aspects. I see one of the actors who we had not seen is now with us, and so we're waiting for one more person. We need a little joy in our life, and she's yet to arrive, but we'll find out about that in a little bit. But again, what was it that drove you to this particular work? What was it that appealed to you when you decided for the season as to what you were going to put on?
I think because it's an election year, we always try to do shows that are relevant to what's on everybody's mind. And there's a lot of laws and bills happening even in our home state. And so this felt like a very relevant topic, something that people were already thinking about, conversations they were having in their living rooms. And what I love about this play in particular is that it is a very controversial topic where people have strong feelings, but it presents it in such a beautiful way where you're able to hear both sides without feeling attacked or being attacked. And I think that's super important, especially for this year. So it was an obvious choice. It's an amazing script. The cast is absolutely incredible. So I'm super excited about it.
A super year, and whether you're a Republican or not, there's a relevant in the room. Okay, there you go. Yep. So what are you having tonight? I'll let you know what I'm having in a second, but what did you bring into the room?
I'm having, and a fly just flew in it, but I'm just going to
Oh no.
Take it out. It's all rough. My husband made me an old fashioned. He makes really
very nice. That's what husbands are for. They're supposed to do those sorts of things, right? So I'm having this. You probably, it was the cake. I wanted to have something that looked sort of like a cake. Isn't that pretty?
That is pretty.
That is an Ohen cocktail. Are you going to say, what is Ohen?
Yes, what is Ohen?
So Ohen is the official drink, if you will. Let me reach down and get here. This is the bottle, and it is it's what Rex toasts its queen and all of the kings who are just called Rex, obviously, but this is their official cocktail that they do their official toast at Antoine's with.
Oh, nice.
And for many years, it was not available. For many years, it was just they bought out the last 2,000 bottles and they went through it. And now Legendre, the same people that bottle, it's sort of still associated with the Sazerac company, but Legendre, who was bought up by the Sazerac company, that's who makes Herb Scent. They now manufacture this, and again, they it's an exclusive label for them. So I thought this would be great. What you do is you take 2 ounces of Ohen, you put in 1 or 2 drops, if you will, of the Peychaud bitters, add a tablespoon or 2 teaspoons of sugar, and a half ounce of water, and then you pour it over some ice, and you stir, and then you strain, and there you have it. That's pretty good. Okay, so everybody's here. All of your actors are here. So let me bring them in one at a time, and I will say that the cake by Bekah Brunstetter opens on what day? I think it's the 31st. Is that right?
Preview is May 31st, and open night is June 1st.
So I will be, I think, seeing it on the preview, and I'm going to be kind, but there's a reason that I'm not going to be able to see it on the first for the opening. But again, it's just as well because it's after stepping out, etc. I'll be able to see. So let me bring in first of all the lady who is making the cake, as it were. And that's Laura Grice. Hello, Laura. How are you?
Hello. Hi, Alan.
All right. Good to see you. First off, I have to ask, have we seen you in anything like this before? Is this the first time that we're seeing you do something of this nature?
Yeah, I think so. Certainly dealing with all of the cake baking that's happening. I've got a devil's food cake and a red velvet cake and a pink lemonade cake and a carrot cake. But
so tell me, do we get to sample these if we attend the show?
Yes, I believe so. Well, I am under the impression that we are going to have some wedding cake for the cake after each performance every night.
Okay, that's very cool. That's very cool.
Right, so Bakery is providing us with wedding cake. So as you exit the theater, you'll get a slice of wedding cake.
How wonderful. All right. So we have the other 2 actors who are going to be portraying the young couple whose cake is at question, because this particular play is called The Cake, but it really isn't about the cake, is it? It really is more.
Yeah, the cake is just the symbol of what's happening within the relationships of these women, and yes.
Okay, so let me just say that Laura's character is a baker and a fairly conservative, valued individual. What you would say is somebody who's probably been brought up to respect traditional values, and she's asked to make a cake for a couple who are getting ready to get married, and then she discovers that they are 2 brides. And that's where we start off. And we're not going to go more than that, but and we're going to bring in the 2 brides now in no particular order. Lorene Chesley and Joy Dons. All right. So we're all in here now. We're all in the mix, as it were. So first off, appreciate Joy and Lorene being here. First off, can you tell me, Joy, first of all, how you found out about this, and I assume you auditioned, etc. Did you know anything about it before you got started on this particular project?
Yes. Am I working? Is everything working? Can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
So I've actually been a fan of this play for a really long time. I've kind of been chasing it, like dropping my headshot and resume off in casting directors' offices in New York City, trying to get to do this play. And then I met Lorene in LA doing an understudy job. We were in POTUS at the Geffen, and she mentioned she was coming, that she works for this theater. She's involved with this theater in New Orleans, and that they were doing the cake. And I was like, stopped her on the street, and I was like, hold up. Excuse me. I was like, I need information. I need all the information.
Well, Lorene, how did you find out about this? I mean, how did you get attached to the project?
I found out about it through our lovely Liz. And so she thought I would be great for Macy, and she heard my voice and was like, read this, we're going to be doing it. And I was like, okay. And I love Crescent City Stage. It's like my second home, and I think they do incredible work, but I love their mission. And I was like, I'm down. So after I read it, I was like, all right, I'm in.
Joy, I saw POTUS on Broadway. It was a remarkable play. So if you were involved with that, you must have been really. What did you do with POTUS? What was your role?
I actually was contracted to understudy Stephanie, Dusty, and Bernadette, and then I ended up replacing Dusty.
Okay. So anybody who doesn't know that the show was POTUS, but it also has a fairly long title, like for every successful president, there's 6 women trying to kill him or save him from being killed or whatever it is. Yeah. But yeah, it's a wonderful play. I thought that the ladies did a wonderful, remarkable job. So you did that at the Geffen, and that's where you learned about the cake. Liz, where did you hear about the cake first?
I was just Googling shows that were, political or recent, and I just found it. I read the description on Concord Theatricals, and then I ordered it. And yeah, so it was just sort of, it happened pretty organically. I hadn't heard about it beforehand, but obviously when I read the blurb about it.
So you got it. Lorene heard about it and she knew about it, and then Joy was attached to it. And then I guess Laura, you came in after that, or were you cognizant of it being offered early on too?
No, I wasn't. Actually, it happened quite organically. That I was actually just scrolling through Facebook and looking at some theater things, and I'd seen Crescent City Stage. I'd heard about them doing a Christmas Carol, and I just saw the auditions. And so I like any actor, you sign up for the audition and you audition and hope for the best. And Liz and I had done a movie together almost, I don't know if it's 20 years ago, Liz, but it feels like it. We were in Bad Moms together. We had a full day, and we hit it off immediately, sharing a little honey wagon trailer together. So it's quite nice to get to know her and see, what the production company, Crescent City Stage, is doing. It's quite, it's very, very exciting. Alan, I lost my home with Southern Rep. And so, this is sort of a company that is not too dissimilar in their mission statement with regards to education and to bringing, plays that have some substance and value and are relevant to the stage. So I'm very excited and pulling not only for this play, of course, but for the success of the company.
And of course, you've had more than a couple of roles too, doing musicals. So, we were accustomed to seeing you singing on stage as well as although I'm trying to remember, was the last big role you did Big Mama? Was that?
I think maybe the last singing role may have been Annie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah. Okay. But anyway, I mean, you've I don't want to make you sound like a relic, but you've established your basis here in New Orleans in many cases.
I've earned it. I'm good with being a relic.
Yeah.
An OG, Lara, an OG.
Yeah, that's right. So again, can you tell me, Lorene, a little bit about your character of the 2 ladies who are getting married? How is she different from her intended?
Well, Macy, I'm not so keen on having a big wedding, right? So it took me a while to even get to wanting to be married. She'd be happy just being with Jen. So Jen's big dream wedding and her day and wanting to do all this hoopla, she would rather just go to City Hall and knock it out. So it's interesting that she gets taken for this ride. She's also, she's a New Yorker. So she is not used to being down south, and that culture shift and everything that comes along with being in the South when you've only been a couple times. And, and a conservative, a person that's the world that she is a part of it's very different. And so she's being thrown and thrust into this with her firm kind of morals and beliefs. And so it's fun to see it come up against Della. But it brings up such good conversation. And Bekah's such a good writer. Our other actor, Larry Heron, kind of said it best. It's a nice, tight, lean, meaningful script. There's no word that's wasted. No scene is wasted. And so it's great. I love all the interactions and the relationships, that all the dynamics we get to see.
And you mentioned it's set in the South. Do you know what city? Do they mention it
Oh yeah,
specifically?
North Carolina, North Kakalaka, baby.
Oh, okay. So like Charlotte or where's that? Winston-Salem. Okay. I dated a lady from Winston-Salem. So Joy, tell me a little bit about your character. How is she different from Macy?
So Jen was born in South Carolina, and then moves to New York when she's a little older. So Jen has a lot of still very traditional kind of like beliefs, and loves a lot of aspects of tradition, like a beautiful big wedding with all of the family there. It's actually funny because Lorene has her wedding planned, and I've like never thought of any of it. So it's funny for us to flip. But yeah, so Jen's, I think, excited to come home, but is maybe a little definitely hopeful about the experience, but she has a lot of things that come up, a lot of demons, you would say, or a lot of beliefs that are clashing for her.
Mm-hmm.
She tries to put together New York and North Carolina, and where does she exist in between the two?
All right. So what do my two brides bring in the room? And I'll ask the cake lady in a second what she brought in. So I brought in, as you heard, my O Hen cocktail. So
I want to try that, Alan.
Lorene, I want to see what you got. What you got?
So I actually love an old fashioned as well. Old fashioned are one of my favorite drinks. So I've got me one from the Burger Company. I love their old fashioned.
Okay. And Joy, you brought in
a glass of white wine.
Well, that's okay. You know, is it like a Chardonnay or you have no idea, Pinot Grigio?
Good question.
Yeah, okay, that's all right. Get the bottle. You know, we don't care. We don't have picky.
It smelled okay.
So I am certain though that, you know, like I said, I thought out what I wanted to have. Liz had her old fashioned, and Lorene's got hers, and Joy's got her wine. So now we're going to find out what the baker has brought to.
Well. I have your classic Cabernet, Alan.
Ooh.
You know, it's very good. I've graduated from Pinots into a little more something with substance, but
that's a heavy body.
It is, and it's a heavy pour.
Okay. Well, we get that out of the way. So, all right. So, those of you who want to make a comment tonight, again, I'm just mentioning we're talking about The Cake by Bekah Brunstetter, and again, as you can see in the upper section there, right off to the, I guess I have to go off to this side here to point over. There's the Crescent City Stage's logo in our upper right-hand corner that we have tonight to denote the fact that this is a production that's going to be starting for the preview on March the 31st, for June the 1st, the actual start of the run at Marquette Hall. Correct, Liz? That's your home base now.
Yes.
And again, to get tickets. Anybody who's looking, do you suggest they go to crescenttcitystage.com, or do you suggest that you go directly to like another spot and do a search for for The Cake?
I think the easiest is crescentcitystage.com, and right on the homepage, it will bring you there. And then there's also a separate page on The Cake and many different places where it says buy tickets. So
understood. So we are waiting. Like I said, if anybody wants to make a comment, they can please come out to Facebook or wherever. We've got a number of people who are watching, but a lot of people watch these shows after the fact. These are archived, as you know, on YouTube, and then people who are interested in seeing the shows might go look at it prior to seeing the show to get an idea, a little taste of what's going on. And there are not many opportunities to be able to talk about a show prior to its actual bow on stage. What happens nowadays, is very few things get written up in advance, because the newspaper, which used to be able to do a lot of previews, does not do that anymore. And then if you don't run for at least a week or so, they won't even think about doing a review, of the show. So it's kind of like, you have to go with what you got, and just have to take a deep breath and hope that they will have an opportunity to do a review of the show and get other people interested and find out a little bit more about it. But so we have the opportunity tonight to talk a little bit about the cake. And so I'm going to ask Laura to tell me a little bit more about where you think that her character is at the beginning of the play, and do you feel like an arc that she grows, or how do you feel like her character advances through the pages of the play, through the stage, without revealing too much, without giving too much away, but in other words, giving me a little bit of a taste towards her character?
Certainly, and I think that's one of the things that drew me to this character, is because she does get to have that change, and the audience gets to sort of grow with her. That she is taking, she loves Jen like her daughter. Her mother and I were best friends, and so she comes back and she's getting married, and this is a joyful occasion. And then how do I wrestle with the beliefs that I grew up with regards to traditional values, and sort of adapting to this world of change, which I think that everybody's kind of going through. And she's just a wonderful, delightful, hopeful woman who is very strong in her beliefs, and really does grapple with the idea of right and wrong as it was passed down to you, or right and wrong as you were thinking about it now. And it's a real struggle that everybody has. Even the crew, when we did our first read through, we were able to share our personal experiences, and some of these experiences, like they're heartbreaking and they're funny. And you do have this tribe of people that are going to back you up on both sides. If you're a traditional Christian person, you have that, and so everyone's got their. But if we can just learn how to sort of mesh that, and she explores that just with such precision, as Lorene said, and also that it's funny. It's it doesn't take itself seriously. The subject matter is it can be serious, but it doesn't take itself seriously, and the audience grows and goes with Della. You will either sort of like understand her journey, or just think that maybe she's not making the right choice, but it happens so quickly, and it's no intermission, and you're in, and you have this powerful, wonderful theater experience, and then you get cake.
Well, all right, so we have left out one ingredient in this cake, as it were, and that ingredient is the missing person, who's not here tonight, but a well-known stage person that we all have known to love as a sound designer, as an actor, and that, of course, is Mike Harkins. So he's not here tonight. I don't know where he is, out hitting the streets or whatever. But tell me about his character and how important he is to Della.
Oh, he's wonderful. Well, he is her backbone, and they've been together and married for a very long time. And seeing like a new, the new generation, like falling in love with each other, and what that really entails. It's not necessarily all about sex per se. It's understanding the other person and sort of allowing them to grow, allowing them to change. When people start to change in their marriage, sometimes they don't change together. They can change. So I'm hopeful that Tim and Della, they grow together, because they love each other so much. But he's very traditional, but he tries, and he loves her back in his own way. People love, but sometimes they don't know how to. So you can give that a grand idea of, yes, I love you, but what does that mean? What does it entail? And it explores all of that with just, that dry wit and the humor and over the top characters and ideas, that happens, today. There's some things that happen, of course, in the news or in your daily life, that it's like, this is stranger than fiction.
So tell me, does Mike grow as much as Della in the piece?
I believe he does. I believe that he does, and we are able to see that he's willing. He wants, but he doesn't understand. So they both are not acquiescing to. They're standing firm in their beliefs and trying to have a conversation about it, and sometimes even having the conversation is a difficult thing to do. You know, a lot of times people, and, you know, I myself have been guilty of it in the past, you know, sort of avoiding that conflict and making sure, you know, well, it's fine. I'll just, you know, if I don't acknowledge it, it's not there. And, but they go through those things together. And I think especially Mike does such a wonderful, I mean, he's endearing. He's funny. He's, you know, easy to watch. He's immensely talented. I couldn't ask for a better scene partner. We've known each other for 20 years, and this is the first time acting together. So
wow, I didn't realize that.
It's a delight. Yeah, I'm very lucky.
And again, as Liz, the happy couple, as it were. We've got a photo. There they are. What were you looking for that they had that you know, your final selections for the cast? What was it that you read in the script that these two who are here with us tonight, you know, Joy and Lorene, what is it that they embodied, or what was it that they got the essence for the characters that you were most enthralled with?
I think there's a yin and yang with the characters, so they complement each other. They make sense together, even though they're very different. I also really wanted to believe the love between them, that they were, you know, romantically, sexually attracted to each other, that they were also intellectually drawn to each other. And these two actors are incredibly smart, very open, talented, and they just kind of fit everything that I wanted for these characters. And I think they make such a cute couple too. So they work very good together.
I guess I'm gonna ask them separately. Joy, what is it you like mostly about your intended in the stage, as far as it goes? What is it that you think your character is drawn to?
In Lorene and Macy?
Yes.
I think that like Liz said, the yin and yang, that Macy's had such a different upbringing, has so many very interesting interests and thoughts and perspectives on the world that I think Jen finds like really beautiful and really attractive. And also they, you know, she talks about how they've created family together. So she's really found a home in Macy, and a new home with a new version of herself that Macy's been a part of in terms of her evolution.
And Macy, what is it that is Lorene? What does Macy see that draws her? I mean, this is a girl with Southern values who's moved to New York, who is almost like a fish out of water to a certain extent. What is it that Macy sees in her?
It's her hopefulness, I think. There's a light and there's a hopefulness about Jen that is just, it's like I'm off to a flame. And that's such a good question, Alan, because we talked a little bit about this during some of the table work. It's like, what is it? And just like Liz said, it is a yin and yang, but I think there's something about someone who's so joyful and hopeful and optimistic and sees what they want and goes after it that is attractive. It's just like intoxicating when someone is so enthusiastic and wants it and has like this vigor and this zest for what they want, and they are so passionate about it. And she's smart. And I think, you know, Jen and Macy have a lot of like, they, just like Joy was saying, they've really created this family together in Brooklyn. And it's just a beautiful, when you found your chosen family, it really is different than the family that you are sometimes necessarily born into. There's a difference and there's a distinction between that. And chosen family feels especially potent and powerful.
All right. Well, again, here's all the characters again. Mike, all the way on the right, Lara, and of course, you've got Joy and Lorene. I guess we gotten to the end of the show because I was figuring we could go for an hour, but I read a private chat that said that you had been promised only half an hour, so we're not going to be able to say too much more than what we've already said tonight. I don't want to, keep anybody any longer than they want to. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me for the half hour just about that we've had. Again, those of you interested in seeing the show, it is named The Cake by Bekah Brunstetter, and you can go check it out at Marquette Hall, starting up on the 31st of March, or the 1st for the opening night. And again, I want to thank y'all for being with me. I guess it's time to go. So thank you. If y'all will stick around for just say goodbye to everybody, and then we'll say goodnight privately. So again, thank you very much for being with me tonight. My name is Alan Smason. Again, this is NOLA Theater Talk. Again, we broadcast to the NOLA Theater Folk Facebook group, to the theatercriticism.com Facebook page, my own YouTube channel. And again, we'll be back hopefully next Monday night with another show. And for all of you out there, I'm going to thank you, and I'll see you at the theater.